There we go.
Thank you, Amanda. This is a meeting of the Board of Zoning Adjustment. Tonight we have one item. On this item, staff will present first and the applicant second. Then the public will be invited to comment, and then the board will discuss. Before I review the voting rules, we have some rules of decorum that Amanda will go over.
Yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Let me just share my screen here. Oh, am I sharing the right one? There we are. Okay. Hello. Sorry, lost my mouse there. Okay, so for our rules of decorum for this meeting, the city has engaged with community members to co-create a vision for productive, meaningful, and inclusive civic conversations. This vision supports physical and emotional safety for community members, staff, and board and commission members, as well as democracy for people of all ages, identities, lived experiences, and political perspectives. For more information about this vision and the community engagement processes, you can visit our website. And the following are examples of our rules of decorum found in the Boulder Revised Code and other guidelines that support this vision. These will be upheld during this meeting. All remarks and testimony shall be limited to matters related to city business. No participant shall make threats or use other forms of intimidation against any person. Obscenity, racial epithets, and other speech and behavior that disrupts or otherwise impedes the ability to conduct the meeting are prohibited. Participants are required to identify themselves using the name they are commonly known by, and individuals must display their whole name before being allowed to speak online. Currently, only audio testimony is permitted online in this platform. We're in the Zoom webinar platform, so when we get to the portion of the meeting where public testimony is and the public are allowed to speak, you may use the raise hand function. And when it is your turn to speak, I will allow you to do so that you can unmute. I don't see anybody on the phone with us. If you're on a PC, you can also use Alt-Y or Option Y for Mac. And then this is just another little graphic to kind of show you where you can hover over the reactions button to use that raise hand feature. And that's it.
Thank you, Amanda. So on each matter, an affirmative vote of 3 or more board members shall result in passage of the motion. An applicant cannot be approved with less than 3 affirmative votes. If the first vote taken on a motion to approve or deny an application results in a tie 2-2, the applicant shall be allowed a rehearing. A tie vote on any subsequent motion to approve or deny shall result in defeat of the motion and denial of the application. A vote of 2-1 or 1-2 on a motion shall in all respect be considered to be a tie. So, and I don't have this up, so somebody fill me in on the case number. So I'm going to now call up BOZA case
2023-00012.
Thank you very much. And the address of this is
135 31st Street.
Thank you. I have read the whole packet. I just don't happen to have it booted up here. Thank you, Robbie. And it's, I think, over to you.
Okay. Again, this is docket number BOZ 2023-00012. The address is 135 31st Street, and this is a parking in the front yard setback variance as part of a proposal to recognize and establish a single off-street parking space on an existing driveway with access off 31st Street. The applicant is requesting a variance to the front yard landscape setback standards for conforming parking in the RL1 zoning district. The subject 9-foot wide by 19-foot deep parking space will be located approximately 10 feet from the east front property line, where 25 feet is required and no conforming or recognized parking exists at this location today. Section of the land use code to be modified, section 971 Boulder Revised Code 1981. And let me share my screen. Okay, you should be seeing the presentation now. Again, the property is 135 31st Street. It also goes by 135 South 31st Street. Our GIS has it both ways, but they are both the same address. So just wanted to clarify that since it was referenced both in the application in this presentation. But within the application materials, there were a total of 15 neighbor sign-offs for written support. I believe 11 or 12 of those 15 I have up there on the map. The others were just north and off the screen of my location map, but they are all on 31st Street, and all of those names were provided within the application. And again, the property is zoned RL1, and what you're considering tonight is a setback variance to allow parking in the front yard landscape setback. There we go. This gives you an aerial view of the property, and the lower right is the survey information taken from the survey. You can see that the house as it exists today is about 30 feet from the east property line, and that will come in when I talk about the proposed dimensions, the setbacks here in a few minutes. So tonight, you are again considering a setback variance to allow parking. The city does require a single family house such as this to provide at least one conforming off-street parking space that is not within the front yard landscape setback. And the code also permits someone to move forward with a parking variance to allow it in the front yard setback if the request is specific to a prior garage conversion. So a house that had a garage at a previous date prior to 2005, we do have specific the 923J criteria just for those. And this property does fall into that category, as we'll go through here in a minute. But the request tonight is to permit or recognize and establish a single off-street parking space on the existing driveway. And the backside of that parking space will be approximately 10 feet from the east or the front property line. And there on the screen, you can see the green line is that 25-foot front yard marker. The red box is the subject 9x19 parking space that the board is considering tonight. And I kind of put a thicker blue line at the back end. That's where that 10-foot marker is being taken from. So the proposed space is on the existing driveway tonight. And there is currently no existing recognized parking because at a prior date, the one-car attached garage was converted to living space, as was detailed within the application. And this gives you, I believe this is a 2019 view of the existing site conditions, but they really haven't changed since 2019. So this gives you an idea of what the existing driveway and the former garage, now living space, that you can see the two French doors. That used to be a garage door, but was converted sometime just after 2000. And this gives you an idea of the proposal. So the proposal is to convert what I believe to be more of a guest room space and a laundry area, and convert it to a guest room space and 3/4 bathroom and laundry area. And the applicant provided all of those details and can go into more detail should you want them to once they are up. And there's really not a whole lot of zoning metrics, solar access, building height, side yard, wall articulation, bulk plane. None of those come into play when it comes to establishing a parking space. The lot is around 8,100 square feet, so it's not a substandard size lot, but it still does need that one parking space as the code requires. A little bit of in the way of the history. The house was built circa 1955. There was a single car attached garage converted without a city permit, possibly in the early 2000s, prior to the current owners taking ownership of this property. And they took ownership in May of 2005. And there is belief that it was done just before that, around maybe 2003 or around that time. But we don't have any permit records on that garage conversion. But it was done prior to the current ownership. And then a setback variance again is needed to establish that conforming parking within the 25-foot front yard setback, which is what is in front of you tonight. So again, the setback, the review criteria that the board is considering tonight is 923J. Hopefully the board members here tonight were able to look through those specific criteria. There are only 7 of them versus the typical 8 that you're used to. And I can go through these one by one if you'd like. I know you've had some of these in the past. But based on criterion J1 through 7, staff will be recommending support of the application as it has been presented. It met the criteria for using 923J, which is mostly 1, 2, and 3 of the criteria. And then the other criteria staff does feel are appropriate and have been met by the applicant, especially because converting it back to a use that has not been a use for around 20 years would likely prove to be an economic hardship for the applicant. And they are simply wanting to establish formally parking in the driveway that has been used as parking in the past and to maintain the use of the former garage as it's been used for the past 20 years. And there is an active building permit application to renovate, to provide renovations as the floor plan shows. That cannot be approved until a variance approval has been granted for the parking were it to be approved. So with that, I can go into these in more detail or any other information if the board needs, but I will leave it at that. And I do know that we have both applicants here tonight if you have any questions for them. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Robbie. Does any member of the board have questions for staff? Katie?
Oh, I can't hear
Need to
you.
unmute yourself. Do they have permission, Amanda, to unmute? Because
Yes, she should. Oh, let's see.
because that's what I ran into. I didn't have any control.
Hmm.
I think that because she's not, there's some kind of a control issue. Is that right? Katie, nod your head if you can't unmute yourself. Yeah, so
That's-
she can't unmute.
You
can make
might,
her
she might
co-host.
need to change her microphone.
Check her
If you go
microphone.
to like the mute button down in the corner, there's an arrow there and then it lets you select a microphone. And
Okay.
I know this happens to me a lot on Zoom where it automatically changes my microphone to something that isn't actually on or exists.
You hear her, Katie? It's the up arrow next to the mute button on the bottom left corner of the Zoom screen. It should be using your built-in mic.
And if anything, if it's a question you can type out,
Or you can
Maybe-
call in on the phone.
or you can call in. Yeah.
What do you want to do? You're
she'll
gonna
type
type,
it.
It's going to type it. Okay.
and it goes into the QA, right? Because the chat doesn't work either, right? Okay.
Everyone as a panelist actually should have access to the chat.
I didn't have chat when I came in. I can see if there's chat now. Yeah, the chat does work for me now, but if she can't get there, it may be a permissions issue. Did you find chat? Katie? Okay, she's got chat. Okay. My dogs are sitting here going, we have not had a walk yet. What is the problem?
And while we're waiting on that, were there any other questions from
Yeah.
the board?
I don't have any questions either. It's just the 3 of us then. Is that right, Robbie? The 3 of us are the quorum.
You've got 4 here tonight.
Oh my God.
Maureen, Nikki, Katie, and you.
I can't see Maureen.
I'm
I
here.
see her. I see
There you
Maureen.
are. Okay, it's that gallery view. Let me switch my view. Last time I saw her, we were making cider
Yeah.
in my neighborhood.
Okay,
We didn't
Katie.
discuss anything.
Katie's question is, because of the building, oh, sorry, just a question how this came to light, because of the building permit needed for the renovations ? And that is exactly what it was. It was recognized at building permit intake that the garage conversion was not done through a permit. The city didn't recognize it, and this was done 20+ years ago. So in order to move forward with any project, including this renovation, they have to meet their parking.
There's many of them down there. So this comes up.
This is almost Martin Acres, not quite Martin Acres, but a lot of these properties are down there.
So any other questions for staff? So if not, the applicant, I think, is here, and it is the applicant's opportunity to present to the board.
Come.
Hello, everybody. I didn't know if anybody had any questions. I don't plan on presenting, but if anyone had any questions for us, my husband is on the line and so am I. So we're available to answer any questions should you have them.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant? Okay,
Okay,
so
we'll go back into the land of attendees then.
you can stay there because a question could come up. So I think it's okay to stay.
I'll just-
Do we have any citizen comment, Amanda? There's nobody waiting.
We have no other participants.
Okay, so at this point, the public hearing is closed. And since there's no other public comment, then it's open to the board for discussion. Is there board discussion? Sometimes when they're this straightforward, we don't have a lot.
Yeah,
of discussion.
exactly. I think
And I get the sense this is one of those.
in
So-
reading the criteria, I feel like it's pretty straightforward. They do satisfy all of the items, so I don't know that there's much to discuss.
Yeah, it's just good that you say it. I think it's helpful, Maureen. Thank you. I concur. And so at this point, the only thing I want to do is if there's anybody who's in the nay column, we'd like to talk about it. But if everyone is on a straw poll leaning towards approving this, we can go ahead and entertain a motion. So I'm certainly in favor myself. So
Me too.
So it looks like we need a motion. And since Katie can't talk, we're not going to ask her to.
I move, so I'll do it. I'll move to approve BOZA docket number 2023-12-12. Yeah.
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor, and I'll go around in order of how you appear on my screen. So in this case, Amanda, we can't get a verbal from Katie, but Katie's raising her hand. So I'm going to, as the chair, acknowledge that that is an aye or a consensus vote. Maureen,
Yes, aye.
Nikki,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So at this point, we have unanimous approval of your request and wish you the best in your building permit process. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Good to see you too, Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah, nice to see you, Amanda. And Nikki, I recognize you from the city as well. I used to work at the city. I just want to say a special thank you to Robbie because he was fantastic. He walked us through the whole process, super responsive, very friendly, really helped set us up for success. So I just want to do a call out for Robbie's service. It was excellent.
Thank you.
Here, Robbie. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on because we are done with our slate. You guys can leave as you wish. So I knew it was going to be a fairly short meeting, was my guess. So the application is approved as submitted, and we can move on. So we have minutes to approve, which I think I read through. Did anybody see any concerns about minutes? I thought they were pretty straightforward. So can we have a motion to approve the minutes, please? Nikki?
I was absent, so I'm not gonna,
Oh,
yeah.
right, so
vote.
it's, I think Nikki would have to do it, right?
Okay, motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second the motion. And then I, for me, Katie, I raised hand. Maureen was absent, so you're gonna.
I don't need to
step out.
vote,
And then
yeah.
Nikki,
Aye.
Okay, so the minutes have been approved. And then, do you have any matters from the board?
Can we just talk about the request? I don't know if it's actually a matter of the board or if it should be a personal issue, but that request to
Yep.
Request, I guess that it's a request to request that the parking requirements don't apply, or
So I back chatted with Aaron and Robbie because I was a little offended that somebody who's on a committee would reach out to us in basically what is essentially our personal capacity. Because as a board, we have nothing to do with this. We just nothing to do with it.
Okay.
And so the response that I got from legal and from Robbie was, well, they don't have any other way to reach you. And I'm not faulting you guys. I'm just saying that there was some logic to it, but I personally still think it was inappropriate. So that's my personal professional opinion, is that they can find me without any problem because our emails are listed. So I guess I would be back to you guys, Robbie and Aaron, because I just think it's weird. And now Maureen is kind of saying the same thing. And it's like asking Boza to do something that we just can't do.
It's very unusual. And I did my own back conversations to find out why this happened. And one of the things that's different about TAB than BOZA is that they are an advisory board, so they are not always staffed with an attorney. So I think this kind of self-generated from a meeting. It was something that they voted on, so it was official action by the board. So I think our general legal opinion is that it doesn't violate any sort of code of conduct. It might not feel good, and you can certainly call into question the professionalism of it, but it doesn't violate any city policy. And at least they acknowledge that it's not something that you as a board have authority or jurisdiction over, but in your personal capacity, if this is a topic that interests you, you are always welcome, like you would be on any issue, to speak out as a member of the city, a member of the public, apart from your collective identity as the Board of Zoning Adjustment.
I feel like what would be most helpful, because I mean, they sent a second inquiry. I mean, it wasn't enough to ignore the inquiry. Then they sent another inquiry. So then I was like, I started to write something. And again, I felt like, okay, I don't work on the board in my capacity as an attorney. I don't know what to say here that doesn't sound rude. So I didn't say anything, which sometimes, that is that's a form of passive resistance. But I think as a board, topically, if we want to say something like, we appreciate that you were interested in our input. If you want to reach out to us in our individual capacity, please do so. Maybe that would have been a more appropriate response for me to at least say something. So, because it sounds like nobody really told them why we weren't responding. Is that right, Aaron?
As far as I know, that's correct. I think they reached out to several boards, all the members on those boards. I would say if it is something you're interested in, then it's up to you if you want to provide a personal email to open up a dialogue with it. And if not, you're free to ignore it.
So my question is, what do you guys want to do? Nikki?
I'm leaning on addressing it. I also spoke to Aaron about this when it came out, because I wanted to understand. And Aaron, I'm really not understanding how it doesn't violate any type of code. And I guess that's where I'm getting stuck in terms of this is completely okay. Because then I'm like, well then, like, how do you respond then if they didn't do if they really didn't do anything wrong? And is the issue with the way that they communicate it, or is the issue with that this is okay, that anyone can communicate in this manner?
Right. I mean, and we've seen other just general emails come into BOZA. And when it's item specific, Robbie kind of heads those off and routes them into the proper channels. With something like this, where they're trying to communicate to you as individuals, we don't really, I don't think we've ever policed, as far as I could determine, using a public email address. Like really anyone could reach out to you with the BOZA email.
Right, but you would respond. You see, if anyone reached out to us in general, they're going to reach out to us either inappropriately, like certain members of the public do, in which case it would go to you, or they're going to reach out like we often get, hey, we just submitted, and what should we do next? And Robbie heads those off at the pass. And I think in this case, I feel like if it's within our purview, why don't we just make a simple statement? Thank you for reaching out to us. Reaching out to the board members as a collective board for a topic like this is not appropriate, or is not something we're going to entertain. However, maybe something along those lines, in that if you wish to contact individual board members in their individual capacity, you'll need to conduct the research to find their emails. I mean, it would take you 30 seconds to get 3 emails from me online.
Right.
So,
if you'd like to do that, you're certainly welcome to. The attorney who supports TAB has discussed the issue with that person. So I think they are aware of general concerns about it. That did not stop them from sending out the second email, though.
okay, so I would like, if you want me to draft something and send it to Erin, and you guys, you know how we have to do it. We can't meet outside of this context, and I'm not in a head frame to write the thing now. I think it's 2 sentences, so I should be able to write it now, but it depends on whether we want to use our time that way, or whether you want me to do a draft and then send it to Erin or Amanda, and she can send it out to you guys, and you can give your individual input when we come together. What do you think? I have one head nod from Nikki, but what does that mean?
I'm okay with you, Jill, drafting something, sending it to Erin and or Amanda, and then us voting through email, or not voting, I guess, but giving commenting through email.
Yeah. Critique, comment, change it, whatever you recommend. Okay, thanks,
Yeah.
Katie. And then we'll have a statement, and even though it will go out late, I mean, the messages, we're not responding, but I'd love to get a feel for, like, what do you think is the right approach? Is the approach, thank you for contacting the board has a policy of not responding to individual inquiries? Or is it that,
Well, I think you can say, please use personal email addresses if you're asking for board members' personal opinions.
Yeah, I like that approach as well.
And again, same for me, they can find my email address very easily. It's not hard.
I'm a little concerned by what you said, Erin, though, about they got guidance, but then they sent out another email. Like, what's going on here?
I don't feel comfortable addressing it. It wasn't a conversation I had.
Understand. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll work something up.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for bringing it up, Nikki, because I probably would have forgotten.
It was Maureen who brought it up.
Oh, Maureen, sorry, Maureen.
I'm on the other side of my screen.
Oh,
Who was there? Maureen, thank you for bringing it up, because
Yeah.
it was on my mind, but my mind is very full these days, so lost it.
Nice.
Anything else from the board right now?
Do we have any items for the
Yeah.
December meeting?
Are we ready for staff matters?
I think
Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
that's
have
that's my
everybody
next
bored.
instruction is, if we're finished with board members and matters, Robbie, staff, what do you got?
Okay, just a couple minor things. One, I just want to touch on the BOZA website right now, we actually do tell people contacting the board, and we have a only contact the board for this. If other than that, do this. We actually already provide that. Whether or not people see it, there's only so much we can do, but we do make it clear what the board should and should not be contacted for. And we can always update and modify to make it more reader friendly as needed. But I just wanted to throw that out there that we do tell people what the email should be used for. Sometimes they just don't read it.
Well,
So-
and we can include that reference, that link in the letter, so that we just have a response, because this will come up again.
Mhm.
And we can say, just check the website for instructions on what matters are appropriate to bring to the board, and we can deal with it that way. Okay.
And one other thing, yesterday was the application deadline. I don't have anything final to say today. We actually just started a new application process for BOZA applications through our customer self-service portal. The application form was slightly modified, and we actually took a lot of information and created a handout for applicants that are also all on the BOZA website. So I am actively going through what, if anything, was submitted yesterday. So I will send an email out probably by the end of the week regarding the December meeting.
Thank you, Robbie.
That's it.
Erin, do you have anything? Because I didn't ask you if you had anything.
No, I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving. And Katie, I feel your pain with the microphone because my Zoom does weird things like that sometimes too.
It's definitely weird. And the other thing to do is make sure you update it, Katie, because we still can't hear you. You'll want to run an update on Zoom too, to just make sure it's updated. But I did want to give you a positive feedback, Robbie, also, since we're giving you kudos. So, and not just you, but you may recall, I was tasked with the responsibility of interviewing for the new planning and development director, Brad, I think is that his name, Brad.
Mhm.
And I haven't seen him since the interview. That's when I got COVID the last time. Aaron Brockett and I got COVID together from that interview process. And at least my husband says I'm saying that, but I really believe it. Anyway, I wanted to know that the Inquirer Boulder, I've had to submit some questions, and as has a real estate broker friend of mine and an architect recently. And instead of waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks, I literally got a response in 24 hours. They are improving. And I saw Brad at a Boulder Area Rental Housing Association meeting, and he was speaking. And I told him, thank you. And said he said they're still working on it and there's changes happening. But I think it's wonderful that it's being addressed and that we're coming out of COVID to some extent. So wanted to pass that on.
And same for pothole fixing. They fix potholes really quickly. It's
Good.
It's actually pretty cool.
That's
You're
awesome.
welcome for that, Maureen. I try my best to get those files.
Glad you're on that. Well, I think we
you're
can,
all over it,
Yeah.
Robbie.
I think we can at this point then adjourn. I guess I should look in. Does anybody have travel plans that we need to talk about now?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention I won't be at the January meeting if there is one. That would be January 9th, and I'm flying back from Costa Rica that day. So
Okay. Thank you.
Nice.
yeah.
I think I'll be here, but I'm out of town some, and but I think we're okay with those dates for me too. So the 9th of April, maybe more. I may not be around. We'll see. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Katie, good luck. All right. Well, the meeting is adjourned.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
holidays.
Bye.
Bye.